Hey guys,
Happy
happy Cinco
Cinco de
de Mayo.
Mayo.
We did that.
Andale.
We did that in unison.
We did. Lori made drinks again. It'd be wrong if she
I
didn't.
did, and we have to be very careful because.
Yeah, she makes these seismically unstable drinks. Cheers.
So we do. Cheers.
All right, whatever. I'm gonna try this thing out. How much booze is in this one?
Not that much, but I'm loving the straw.
Straws are annoying.
Well, no, I love the straw.
Hey, Jody.
Hi, Jody.
How are you? So we just got back from, ironically, Niagara on the Falls. We were at Niagara Falls. We were there last weekend. Niagara on the Lake, Niagara Falls.
Yes, and we visited a lot of wineries.
Yeah, this was a wine and food
because
thing.
there was a special event going on.
We'll get to that. Right?
Yes, but can I say sip and sizzle?
Yeah. Well, we've been to Niagara Falls because it's only 2.5 hours away from right here, ground zero. We've been there a lot. So we have some ideas of stuff to do, like actually even how to get across the border.
Yes, but I have to interrupt you for one moment. Taco socks. Okay, continue.
Yeah, taco socks.
Taco socks.
Taco. So anyway, we'll start off with talking about getting across the border.
Hi, Gary.
Gary, we're talking about your home turf.
He said we didn't call.
We did not call.
Well, actually, we were kind of like, we were there for what seemed like a short time, and we were kind of like on the go.
We tried to get frickin' Beauchart one time, but he blew us off. So, you know.
So wait, maybe Gary, a future visit.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Because it'd be nice to see you.
Yeah, because I know you're really close to there. So the first thing.
But wait, Gary, how close are you? Because I know you said you were moving.
No, Beauchart moved. Maybe Gary's moving too. Beauchart moved.
I guess I thought it was Gary. Okay, maybe I'm
sure
wrong.
he'll chat in.
Okay.
Yeah, he's only an hour away.
An hour, okay.
Wow, we're not that much further than you. We're 2.5. So not counting the customs factor, which is why I want to talk about customs, and Lori will add some stuff to this also. When you are preparing to cross the customs border going into Canada from the United States, number one, what do you need?
You need your passport.
That is correct. Or an enhanced driver's license, which will also be like real ID. Real ID is important if you're going to fly anywhere within the continental United States. I'm not sure how that's going to work in Canada and stuff. They have their own rules. But as far as getting into Canada, you need your passport. And then it's always a good idea to not bring anything controlled with you. No firearms, nothing sketchy. Just, you know.
But you can't, I know you can't bring mace.
You cannot bring mace.
They always ask us that.
There's actually a huge list if you go to the Visit Canada website.
Well, firearms, mace. Yeah.
So anyway, as we approach customs, we always take our sunglasses off. We lower the driver's side window or windows if you're a 4-door, and we have our passports in hand, ready to go, and we show the customs officer nothing but respect, because you do not want your car taken apart at customs. That would be very unpleasant because they don't put it back together for you.
No, so you want to be nice, of course, not super silly.
Yeah, not super silly like I'm being right now. So actually, funny enough, our Ring car cam captured our latest entry, didn't it?
Which is very interesting.
Yeah, should we roll that?
See if you guys have a look at this.
We're gonna roll that. Let's see if we add this to the stage if this works. This is gonna work. That's the wrong one. Relax. It's live TV. So this is customs going into, this is the Rainbow Bridge, and this is last weekend. You ever come in across Lewiston? I don't think so. Hello. How are you?
Good, you?
We're doing well. It's the weekend finally.
It is. It's about time, isn't it?
Yes. It's been a rough week.
Fair enough. I've heard that from a lot of people.
We had Niagara Falls in our house last week.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, water line failure.
Got it all sorted now, though?
Yeah, mostly. Mostly.
Where are you headed today?
Niagara on the Lake.
And how long will you be
Sunday afternoon, then we have to come home.
Long enough to forget about Niagara Falls in the house.
Well, yeah. Well, the ceiling will remind me, but the rest of it, we woke up to it, so it was okay. Imagine if it happened and I don't want to talk about it.
You guys are on vacation mode now. You're all set there, okay?
Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Just that easy. We have audio, but I haven't put us on yet. But
So I wanted to say, Gary said Beauchart's only a half hour away.
Yeah, he's really close.
So Beauchart, I think
turn this off in a
moved
second.
a bit closer.
Because this is winding down. There we go. Okay. So it's just that easy when it goes well. We've had all kinds of different customs officers on both sides heading into Canada.
So I want to say it's happened a few times where it's been like they've been super nice.
Yeah.
And we just kind of went across like we did.
Yeah.
So
my drink.
I think it all depends too on how you are with them. Because if you're like super rude, I'm sure that they're going to be a little bit ruder back.
Oh yeah, and don't lie, because they already know the answers to all the questions they're asking you. So if you lie, you're just making it worse, and they're probably going to take your car apart.
Oh, that was the thing. That's the thing too. So we normally like to bring back a few bottles of wine from the wineries. So we always make sure that we declare what we have. And seriously, if you have, let's say, 2 cases, maybe even 3 cases, and especially if they're like mixed wines.
This is coming back into America, the United States.
Yes, they will definitely just normally just say go through.
Have a nice day.
Because they don't want to spend the time to look through all those and tax them. So
yeah, they have to fill out paperwork.
It's not really worth it to them.
Every unique bottle of wine, they must fill out paperwork for. If you have a case of one type of wine, you're probably going to pay duty on it because that's easy. It's one piece of paper for 12 bottles of wine. The duty is cheap. I don't remember. It's so cheap. I don't remember what it is. So that's why they don't really want to be bothered with it. But anyway, just come clean with them. Tell them what you have. Last time, I think.
So it was funny because we came
January.
back. We came back in December.
January.
That was December. Well, January, I guess technically.
Yeah, New
Year's Day. So it was kind of funny because when we declared what we had, he was kind of like.
He said, "Holy expletive!"
Amazed, but it wasn't that much. So I think it was.
Not the S word expletive, not the other one.
No, but it was a tiny bit over like.
Yeah, he couldn't believe it.
Was it 2 cases?
We had 2 cases of wine and like a bottle of Wayne Gretzky whiskey that I had nipped a little bit of. But
this time we only had a case.
Yeah.
And then he was like,
there was still
he was like, oh my.
Yeah. So anyway, just come clean with the guys. Be polite. Be nice, have your passport, paperwork ready to go, have the receipts for your bottles that you purchased, anything you need to declare, and you'll be in or out wherever you're going in no time, barring traffic, of course, because that's always a wild card. So once you get across the border, you're going to be probably here, if I can get this to work. Get this on too. There we go. Now we got us. Yeah, you'll be at this place. This was taken from the Hilton Falls view, by the way. So this is Niagara Falls. That's the American Falls right in front of you. We're looking at America from Canada because why? Because Canada has a much nicer side than the American side.
It's kind of sad because what's happening on the American side is the rocks are kind of falling down.
Well, they're falling down both falls.
Well, no, more so. I feel like more so on the American side, though.
So
it's kind of like making it different.
The view is much better from Canada. The Canadian side has a lot more stuff to do, and it's just nicer. So it's highly recommended to go over to the Canadian side for sure. I would say. Anyway, and as far as obviously the falls is the #1 attraction, and you can walk right along, all the way along the rail there. There's us by the mouth of the falls. That's your niece.
So wait, and that was very pretty because as you can see, there's a rainbow.
There's a rainbow, hence the Rainbow Bridge. So Every Friday night and Sunday night, they do fireworks. So there's just a little bit of it, but you can see them from the hotel room if you're up high like we were. It's kind of cool. So fireworks every Friday and Sunday night, and then of course for 4th of July and New Year's and stuff like that.
Wait, is it Saturday or Sunday?
It's Sunday. Sometimes they do it. Check the schedule. You can go to Niagara Falls Fireworks, search for it.
They don't do it on Saturdays?
And they update the schedule so you can always be up to date with what's current for that moment in time. Why are you fighting me on this?
No, because I thought it was Saturdays also.
It's whenever it's scheduled, but it's always Fridays and always Sundays. So, this is Table Rock Restaurant. This is the view from Table Rock Restaurant. There are so many places to eat along Niagara Falls. It's pretty nuts, really. But this was probably one of the coolest places we went, was Table Rock. So I'm going to bring this up like full screen. So there, we're back. All kinds of good eateries around Niagara Falls and the area called Clifton Hill. Clifton Hill is where all the really touristy fun stuff is. So
I will say Clifton Hill has a variety, though, because some are what you might call fast food more.
There's fast food places. There's finer dining. But it's spattered about. I think the nicest place we went to is called Wine Keller Restaurant. We might have a picture of that. Which is
actually one I found.
Yeah.
So it's very nice because we walked in. It's kind of like you walk down. It's almost like in a cellar. And then there's a fireplace, and we sat right by the fireplace, which is nice.
That was pretty awesome. They said they probably say it to everybody, got the best seat in the house. But it was really nice.
I hate to say, probably the fireplace was the best seat.
But. Yeah, it was good. So there's that, and then there's always the typical chainy places like Margaritaville is there. Is there still the
Wait,
what?
Gary's asking, did the Canadians treat you well?
That's a great question, Gary, and the answer is yes.
Yes.
We had some fun conversations.
So
I don't want to get into them on here.
I told Chuck though that I felt like they were very nice to us.
We've never had a problem in Canada. In
fact, I think it's part of the thing is if you're nice to people,
if you're genuinely nice,
they're usually
somebody's going to reciprocate
nice back
by being friendly and kind and helpful. And the Canadian people are great. We always have a really good time up there. And in fact, we've been accused of being Canadian sometimes because I think because we're only an hour and a half from the border.
Well, can I tell the story?
Maybe a kiss of Canadian accent.
They happened to us in Scotland.
Yeah, in Scotland.
Because in Scotland, we stayed at a hotel that was like a castle. And there was a woman that was sitting next to us at dinner. And she was actually by herself. And she was listening to us talk, remember? Yeah. And she said, "Oh, excuse me, I have to ask you guys, are you from Canada?" And then, of course, we had to say no. But it's because I guess she worked as like a nanny in Canada for a while. So for some reason she thought we were Canadian. So it's kind of interesting.
Who knows? We're whatever we need to be at the time. But yeah, Gary, they were really nice. And
so actually we always have a great time in Canada. I don't think we ever had a bad time.
Might have to have Gary pick up my next drone for me. I'll have to pick it up at his house.
I think you're gonna figure it out. I think you're gonna say have Gary. I think you're gonna say have Gary pick up your next tab.
No, my drone. I have to wire him the money and give me the drone so I can. Anyway, that's a little.
But they're so close that we can pop over.
Yeah, it can accidentally find its way back. Anything to
so wait, seriously, Gary, we love to pop over.
Yes, we'll be back. We're up there quite a bit, probably 2-3 times a year.
Yeah,
we wander up.
Because we really like, especially Niagara on the Lake.
Yeah. So what else we have here? So we'll talk more. Thought I had. It's gonna play. Oh, there's Maid of the Mist. See, so you can do Maid of the Mist on the Canadian side. That's the red boats. It used to be the American boats were blue. I'm not even sure if they do the Maid of the Mist on the U.S. side. I have my doubts. It stopped for a while. It might be back, but you can definitely do it on the Canadian side. And then there's zip line for 4 people at a time, up to 4 people at a time, going down the side of the falls. You can walk behind the falls. You can do a tour of the power station, which is really cool. We did that a while ago. You might even get to run the lights.
Yeah.
Like, we may have done that, maybe. So
Yes,
you can do
and
that.
we have some videos coming up.
Yeah, there's a lot of really cool stuff you can do right down at the falls. And then you can wander up to Clifton Hill, and there's like nonstop stuff to do. There's well, we'll talk about it later.
So actually, I have a question for Gary, though. I'm kind of curious if he's still listening.
Hey, Steve. How you doing, man?
So, Gary, if you're still listening, do they really like celebrate Cinco de Mayo in Canada? I'm kind of curious.
They celebrate it internationally. Yeah, Steve, we're on. We had the
Steve.
We had to postpone because Saturday didn't work out because we were where we are talking about right now, which is up in Canada.
Well, we meant to do it on Saturday, and we were kind of like
didn't work
out, so it didn't work, unfortunately.
So we postponed. We're sorry for the confusion and the delay and everything.
So, but we're actually in Cinco de Mayo.
But now it's officially the day. Yeah, you know.
And hence
Slanja. Leave my hat. My hat's terrible.
No, I like your hat.
Bunch of sugary stuff.
Yeah,
ants are gonna love that.
I gave you a sugary crunchy.
So, yeah, back to Clifton Hill. Best thing up there are the go-karts. In my opinion, the go-karts are awesome.
So you know what I love? The Ferris wheel.
Gary says don't do much there. So.
Okay.
Yeah, the Ferris wheel is really nice. The Ferris wheel, the trick with that is to kind of time it so you hit it right around sunset because you go, is it 3 or 4 times around?
I think at least. And the nice thing is
15 or so minutes.
That if you go in the summer, remember they're air conditioned.
They are air conditioned. Yes. They are climatically controlled and enclosed, and they hold like 6 people, maybe 8. So big parties can go in them, and it's really nice. It's beautiful. It's scenic. You get great views, and like I said, at sunset. Mwah, very cool. And then there's all these little things you can do. They have like the wax museum.
Well, you know what I loved? Remember when we went with our niece? We did, I think it was called Wizards Golf. It was like that miniature golf.
In the dark.
Yes. I think it was like glow in the dark almost.
Yes.
So it's really fun. And then we did all those like simulator type games.
What was it?
Actually, that
Zombie Attack.
The one we did was Zombie Attack. That was it's so funny because it kind of like made me feel like a kid again because like we're shooting zombies.
What else we have here? Put this up for a second.
We probably have something on
We have some stuff. Yeah, so there's Zombie Attacks right there, and there's the Ferris wheel, and there's zillions of stuff to do. There's
right there. That was really fun.
That was 4D Zombie Attacks. That was a riot.
And on the far left is our niece that came with us. We just really had fun because we were like 3 kids actually.
Yeah, that was good.
It was a good weekend.
It was super fun. Good place for kids. You'll see a lot of kids there.
But I would definitely.
That's the go-karts. You can't go wrong with the go-karts. 100%. Super fun. Chuck approved.
But you know what? And, I would do all that again though because I think they changed a couple of things, so there's newer stuff.
Yeah.
So definitely it's something to do.
If you want to attach a 360 camera to the go-kart, you must get permission like I did. They doubted me when I got there. I have Insta 360 footage from my go-kart on a selfie stick. It's insane.
Well, you know what probably happened? You were probably the first person maybe to ever like
probably the last. I don't think they'll let anybody ever do it again, but it's cool footage. Definitely cool footage. That's the go-karts. And then sing so long. All right, Skylon Tower.
Oh.
You can go up the Skylon Tower, pay for the observation deck. You can also, it's 775 feet high or 236 meters, as it says right there. And you can dine up there, which is really, really nice. I wouldn't say the food is the best, but the view sure is nice.
So you know what I remember though? But what was really cool is that it was revolving.
Yeah, it's a revolving restaurant, which is pretty neat.
So what's kind of funny though is, and you guys are gonna laugh, there was a woman actually that was sitting behind us, and because the restaurant evolves, she actually put her purse. She wasn't thinking. she put her purse on like by the window, and it actually started like moving, and she didn't even notice till it got like pretty far ahead of her.
So she'd come and chase down her purse. And we saw other stuff too. So you have to be mindful when you're in a revolving restaurant. There's one in Toronto too. There are several.
Yeah. Well, I think in the one in Toronto, you could almost like go in the, like, say, at the bathroom. Yeah. And if you were there long enough, you came back and your table had totally moved.
I got lost at the one in, that was the Space Needle. We had a Space Needle once. Another topic for another day. But so this is just walking along Clifton Hill, right by the Ferris wheel and stuff. And I think the fireworks, there's a speedway. All this stuff is grouped together. There's fireworks going off and stuff.
Well, I think
it's really cool.
I think at night there's a whole other atmosphere.
Yeah, the vibe is so much different at night.
It's kind of cool though because everything's lit up.
Yeah, there's usually this guy's playing music. So like there's just stuff going on. Lots of good restaurants like Kelsey's and stuff. A lot of good places to eat. Just wander on a nice summer night. You can't look at the flowers. The flowers are great. Pretty chill and cool. So that's Wine Keller Restaurant. That's the fireplace that Lori was talking about a little bit before. And that was that was dinner. That place is great.
That dinner was really good.
Yeah, that place is really cool.
I would seriously consider going back. Yeah. And that place is like right next to the other casino, which is
Casino Niagara.
Yes.
So there are two casinos up there. There's Casino Niagara, which is right close to the Rainbow Bridge.
And Fallsview.
And then there's Fallsview Casino, which is just a little further. Fallsview is on top of the Canadian Falls, basically.
So actually, Gary, if you're still watching, do you go to Clifton Hill? I'm just curious.
All right, we'll let them think about that. Plus, there's a delay, which is really annoying.
It's okay.
Okay. Well, anyway, yeah. So,
yeah, I remember that place.
That was the Works. The Works is a really cool restaurant right by that Ferris wheel we just showed you. That place is pretty fun.
You know what's funny about that? Wait, can you go back to that picture for a second?
No, I'm not going back.
I saw the broccoli. There's a lot of healthy food too. Lots of broccoli.
All right. Anyway, now we're in the rerun, so you made me go back, and I screwed it up.
Oh, right. No, it's right there, actually.
Okay. Whatever. Where?
No, I see a little bit forward.
All right, we'll get back to it.
If you can't get
Gary says he's been to Clifton Hills so often his grandkids are bored with it. I believe that, but it does change a lot. The things keep changing.
Actually, you know what though? If you live that close, I guess I can understand.
So why am I running reruns now? Where am I going? Tell me when to stop, because it's.
Well, no, I was looking for the picture of the broccoli, but it's okay. It's past that one.
Okay, why don't you?
It was the next. Yeah, that one. It's kind of funny because.
I went all the way back for broccoli?
No, I just want to say it's funny because the burger was.
You made me go all the way back for broccoli. A picture of broccoli.
No, wait. The burger was the main thing, but it's so funny how they give you, only in Canada probably, such a nice portion of healthy broccoli.
Whatever. So mini golf, hold on. Gary says mini golf is still the highlight for them. Do you mean the dinosaur mini golf, Gary? Is that what you're talking about? Probably. Because there's the glow-in-the-dark stuff that our niece really dug.
I think it's called Wizard Golf.
Well, Wizard Golf. And then the dinosaur golf is pretty cool, too.
And dinosaur is outside, and of course, Wizard is totally inside.
Yeah. Oops. Wrong button.
So I want to say Chuck and I never did the dinosaur. We only did the indoor, so we may have to do the dinosaur golf.
Maybe. So now we're moving on to, we talked about Niagara Falls and Clifton Hill enough to move on to something else?
The wineries.
One last thing before we go off to Niagara on the Lake, which is where this shot is from, is there are so many breweries and places in Clifton Hill and Niagara Falls proper in the city that you'll never get to them all in one weekend. It'll take multiple visits to get to them all, but they're all over the place. This is Niagara on the Lake, and this is actually Flat Rock.
One moment. What did Gary write?
What did Gary write? What is that?
So, Gary, I'm not sure.
I don't.
What is?
Inniskillin. What?
Oh, it's not Inniskillin, is it?
Inniskillin? Is that what you're trying to write?
It's spelled right, though.
Inniskillin. We like that place.
So actually, Gary, let us know because the spelling's a little funky.
Yeah, so this is Niagara on the Lake. There are vineyards as far as the eye can see. This is in the middle of summer. So many wineries, it's hard to keep up with them all. There are little itty bitty ones. Who's that drunk right there? I don't know who that guy is. This Niagara on the Lake is really quite cool.
Wait, Gary wrote that's the rock formation.
The
name of it?
Duh. Yeah. We learned something from Gary.
So it's funny because you probably didn't know the actual name.
I did not. I wanted to fly. If I didn't have Avada at the time, or Avada would have went ripping through that thing. I remember when I had the original DJI Mavic Air drone, they let me fly it there. I had all kinds of cool footage of that place. But
so I'm trying to think.
It's all
lost. That was Flat Rock.
That was Flat Rock Cellars. Yeah, that's more towards 20 Valley, kind of. It's like in the middle, but more towards 20 Valley. Yeah, so right, Gary? It's more towards 20 Valley.
I was going to say, Gary, if you like wine, Flat Rock is a good one. One of our faves.
Yeah, Flat Rock, I think, is probably my fave because they let me fly the drone there every time I go. I can fly the drone there.
They're always very nice.
They're very cool to us, which is they're Chuck approved. So
that's pretty.
Yeah, this is one of a billion that was like a stop along the side of the road. So lots of fun stuff to like check out while you're in Niagara on the Lake. It's beautiful in summer. Just Flat Rock again.
So I want to say it's beautiful in all seasons, but I think
between the lines, we went there this past weekend.
My fave might be fall. Possibly.
And that is the lake, because Niagara on the Lake is on Lake Ontario, and that's Ontario. This is the smallest church.
So wait, I must talk about this one.
All right, you can talk about this one.
This was so funny because Chuck and I, we went a couple times. Remember, we kept going by the church.
Drive by the church.
So we finally said, let's stop. When we got there, we weren't even sure if we could go in. And then we got in, and then remember, there's two kids that were kind of like locking the door because they thought it was like a playhouse, and they didn't want to let us in. So we finally got in,
and we locked them out.
But it was just kind of but it was kind of amazing because it was just so small, and I think they may even do like a service.
Was there 9? There are 9 pews in there, I think. Well, we have footage of it.
It's just so
we have footage.
It was just like so cool to actually go in there and see it. But yes, and it's very busy in the summer.
Pronounce it. See, Inukskook.
No, I think is it Ookskook?
Inukskook. I'm not gonna try saying that again. I'm not doing it.
I don't know. But actually, if you're going in the area, definitely check out the
church.
Yes.
Counterpoint. There's so many good breweries like kicking around. So this place.
Wait. It says in Hookshot. In Hookshot? I'm not gonna say it. In Hookshot.
We give up, Gary. We'll talk to you on the phone about it so we can get it right.
So Gary, you have to pronounce it for us.
Yeah, really.
Wait, this place, we sat outside. Great food.
Yes.
Beautiful flowers.
I think we didn't make reservations for much of anything except for afternoon tea. We made reservations for that.
Because we were a little bit leery, I think. But
this place that we just showed you, this place we walked into.
Yes, and the flowers. I have been looking at this place for years, and I kept telling you, Chuck, the flowers are beautiful. We have to go in. So we finally went in.
Inukshuk. Okay. Hey, Art. How's Art doing today?
Hi, Art.
Oh.
So I had to go in because Chuck, the flowers just like drew me to it.
Yeah,
and then the food was good.
Food was pretty exceptional.
So I have to say, actually, Chuck and I have found that the food in Canada is not bad. We actually
quite the opposite. Not bad. Very, very good.
Very good.
We're playing it down.
No, I don't think we've ever had like an issue.
Yeah. It's great.
It's very gourmet, very
This place is very cool. I got yelled at in this place. I was trying to film with Pocket 3 and I got yelled at. You can take a horse and carriage around if you want. It's kind of a nice way to check out Niagara on the Lake in the village. There's the Butterfly Conservatory. That's where this was. So you can go see the butterflies. And there's the floral clock as well, which is really cool in the summertime.
Yes.
I love that thing. In fact,
and they always use different flowers.
Yeah, every year it's unique and new and different, which is super pretty.
Gary says, is the Buttery still open?
The Buttery?
So,
I don't think
so. Wait, Gary, what is the Buttery?
Because we went to the Butterfly Conservatory. I know about the Buttery.
Is that a restaurant?
Well, I do know they still do the cable car across the river that we have yet to do.
Yeah,
and then there's the speedboat that goes down. Bring us back on camera here. The speedboat that you can rip down the Niagara River, the rapids. I've seen that,
yes.
I think we have to do that.
There's two versions. There's a version where I guess you're covered. So it's a dry version.
Oh no, we're all in, man.
And there's another version.
We're all in.
Where it's
waterproof camera.
A bit crazier.
We're all in. But yeah. I don't know, Gary. Not sure. A restaurant.
Medieval theme?
Oh, wow. We'll look for that one.
I don't know.
Somebody Google it up and look for it.
So Gary will have to check because I have not heard of that one.
No, we haven't heard of that one.
So actually, is it in Niagara on the Lake? Or was it? That's the question because... And we've been in St. Catharines about.
What was the place we went to? It's the Irish pub we went to right in the middle of the village.
The Irish Harp?
Irish Harp.
I think.
That place is... I felt like we were in Dublin again. We went there. It was actually, I guess there's a lot of Scottish and Irish influence in Niagara on the Lake, the region itself. So, in fact, was it first... Gary could answer this question, but I think it was first populated by a Scottish dude, if I'm not mistaken. But I might be wrong.
Oh, wait a second. Now that you say that, remember the statue?
Yeah, that was the guy.
Shaw?
Yes.
So
that's it.
There's something about his background.
That's it. You do some more homework. We learn more every time we go, but we've only been to the actual village a few times.
Oh, and then
like 2 or 3 times max.
The hotel in the village had a really cool historical bar. And remember, and Chuck and I went in for a drink, and it was like really cool because they were saying it was like the original, I feel like it was original woodwork. Do you remember?
Yeah, that was really cool. We have footage of that place too. We have a lot of stuff to share.
So we have more to share.
Yeah, for sure. So Flower Clock, definitely easy to stop at. A lot of party. I don't know whose that is, but wow, that looks good.
This is funny. We have to tell a story about that.
The ultimate winery cruising machine.
Wait, Chuck was brave enough at one point to bring it up.
I brought it over
to Canada.
Yeah,
because we never know what we're going to encounter.
It was kind of stressful.
But they were doing some road work. So what happened is the manholes. Remember the manholes were sticking up because of the road work?
Yeah, I had to swerve around manhole covers. They were like, like this high. And I was like, go around
because
them.
You can go over them. So I mean,
slalom.
That time the road.
Oh, there's no going over that stuff with this car. It was like it would have been high centered. It would have been tipping like balanced in the middle, tipping. Would have been hosed.
Yeah. So actually, lately we've been bringing trucks because of that. But
yeah. Yep. So and that's all the photos we have actually. We're back in the reruns going back across.
So wait.
That's Casino Niagara, by the way, right there in the background. If you can see it, where my cursor is, maybe not. That's where the big tower is. That's Casino Niagara.
So wait, Gary said they moved the Buttery to Toronto.
Oh, they did.
Oh, okay.
Okay, we'll come back.
So that's funny, Gary, because we were in Toronto quite a few years ago. Because we actually saw, it's funny, the Phantom of the Opera.
The Phantom of the Opera. Yes.
We saw it in Toronto.
That was our first road trip. Lori and my first road trip, right?
Yes. And actually I love Toronto, so we probably should go back.
It's changed.
Yes, but
it's a wee bit larger now.
Well, I kind of like to check it out.
It's like me.
And I remember at the time it was funny because we had a map and Chuck and I could not figure out where we were. And at one point, remember, we got so disgusted, we just kind of threw our map behind us.
We did. Lost the map.
So maybe with GPS now it's easier. I don't know.
It couldn't. We were going the wrong way down one-way streets. We were doing all kinds of crazy stuff, and
somehow we found out where we were staying, and it was just
yeah.
It all worked out. But yes, I would love to go back to Toronto.
That would be cool. So
wait. Steve says
Ferrari or Corvette.
Ooh,
that is a 2001 C5 Corvette. You know, Steve, this is funny. Like, so I've had that since November of 2000. Actually, it was like early 2001. I brought it in the spring to get a tire warranty put on it at Goodyear because it came with Goodyear tires. You can still put a warranty on it. Anyway, the woman at the Goodyear shop asked me if it was the new Ferrari. I was like, no, it's a Corvette. That was like 25 years ago, though. But
well, it's fun to drive, but unfortunately, you kind of have to pick and choose where you want to go.
It's stressful driving that thing. It sits so low. I lowered it, so it's the opposite of the truck.
Yeah, and like we said that time in Canada when the road worked, you could not go over the manholes.
You can't go over the manholes.
That would have been bad.
No. It doesn't get driven much, Steve. It sits around a lot. It's a garage queen. In fact,
so I think we should drive it more around here, maybe.
Speaking of that, Niagara on the Lake, there's a winery called Rife, REIF.
Oh,
Rife Winery.
They do something really cool.
They have a car show in July, which is the three dudes up there, Klaus Rife and his two neighbors. They're all car guys. Klaus is a Porsche guy, and they have this massive car show. And like we went to it once. It was actually really cool. But like
we saw Manny.
Yeah, and we ran into this guy named Manny that we know from one of our Corvette buddies from the past. Anyway, we saw Klaus in the winery. He was pouring, and we were talking about the Corvette and stuff. And he's like, he asked me if I ever raced it, because he races his Porsche. And I was like, no, I don't race my Vette. And he's like, I forget how he said it.
Didn't you kind of though that time?
No, not really. I drag raced it and stuff.
No, but in Kentucky.
Yeah, it didn't really count.
Or no, Tennessee.
Whatever, it didn't count. So
okay.
No. So I told Klaus, no, it's a garage queen.
But a little bit.
And he was like, you have to take that to the track and race it. So maybe one day.
But you did a tiny bit though.
I'll stop playing it up. We never race that thing.
Well,
it's a garage queen.
You were like, you did a tiny bit of drag racing.
All right, get over it. How much did you drink?
Tiny.
All right, stop it. Stop.
Know what you did.
No, I didn't.
Oh.
It's only been drag raced at Esta. That's it. So, on that note, I think we've pretty much covered everything we wanted to cover. We do have a bunch of material to put together in a video that we're working on. So we'll take all this stuff and make it more sensible and hit the big points. Unless you have something to add.
So I wonder if you want to talk a little bit about the wineries.
I think we should save that for another time.
Do you want to?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm going to let it go. We covered everything mostly.
Okay. So
with that,
we will be back with more.
We'll be back with more. So thanks for tuning in. It's just a quickie, really, just to say happy Cinco de Mayo, show you some stuff from Canada, and we do have a lot to edit from up there, so we'll share like in organized fashion. Yeah, meanwhile,
definitely,
we're still doing Iceland, so we have to get all the Iceland stuff out, so you can check that out. And yes, Gary, 100%, man, we will call you. Promise. Somehow. All right, guys. Till next time. Peace out.
Bye, guys.